I'm known as Waheed Aesthetic. I've been in the fitness industry for over 14 years, from personal training to coaching to online coaching to owning multiple gyms. Mr. England finalist, done various stuff with Asiana, worked with the likes of Shah Rukh Khan. We've set up a foundation called the Ali Tazim Foundation. I've been part of many charities for a long time. Raised a substantial amount, £33,000. Love to give up. I can never stay still. You know, I always want to do something. Set up a business. I'm the gaffer, I'm the boss. I want to do it. Don't lose yourself making that money. Don't lose your morals, don't lose your dignity in order to make that money. You need Waheed Aesthetic. But there's a lot of people behind me who help me, man. Never be ignorant to learn. You know, you can learn off every single person. There's a saying and it goes, no man is your friend, no man is your enemy, but every man is your teacher.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Visionation Success Stories podcast. Today I'm with the one and only Waheed Aesthetic. How are you, bro?
Absolutely top of the world, champ.
Amazing. Good to hear that. How you been? How's your week been?
I'm good, you know. Busy week, busy as always. But yeah, I'm good, grateful, happy, happy chappy.
That's good, man. Good to have you on as well. So we'll get right into it. So for the viewers that don't know who you are, mind explaining what it is that you do?
What I do with myself, who I am, it's a tricky one, to be fair. I'm known as Waheed Aesthetic. I've been in the fitness industry for over 14 years, from personal training to coaching to online coaching to owning multiple gyms to meal preps, and yeah, just getting into the boxing promotion side of it now as well.
Okay. So how did you get into it?
How did I get into it? To be fair, I've always been into fitness from the get-go, from primary school, to be fair. And what initially happened was I went into college. College did sports exercise science, good grades. Went into university, same 2-1 honours, a bachelor in science with sports exercise science. And yeah, fell in love with the whole education side of it. Got into personal training.
Okay.
Obviously, I wanted to, whatever I've learned, put it into practice. Yeah, man.
Okay.
That's
So
ideally how I really got into it. Obviously, there's little stories in between and stuff which I could break down to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Initially, what happened was, taking my fitness a lot more seriously. I was always been into my fitness, but there's different types of fitness. You know, there's different sports, there's different elements to fitness. You know, basic fitness, 5 components of fitness: speed, agility, power, coordination, balance. I was always into it. Playing football, played cricket, played badminton. But what initially happened is, in order to the aesthetic side of it, in terms of where the name comes from, Waheed Aesthetic, was how you look. Aesthetic comes from being pleasing to the eye. I got called to do a photo shoot for someone, and it was modelling. So yeah, I used to model as well. Mr. England finalist, done various stuff with Asiana, worked with the likes of Shah Rukh Khan. So yeah, I've done some modelling, and then one of the designers or the choreographers wanted me for a photo shoot which required me to be topless. So when that required me to be topless, I thought, let's just try to do everything which I've learned at university and get into some good shape. 4 weeks, and I got into some good shape. Photo shoot came out well, and then from there I thought, I like this, so I took it a lot more seriously, got into the competitive side of it, and started competing as well as coaching others. Okay.
So when was it that you actually got into the bodybuilding side of it? So like,
the bodybuilding side of it, I got into it, let's say around 2015.
Okay.
2015, I took it a lot more seriously. Prior to that, I was more so into sports-specific stuff. When we say sports-specific stuff, you know, fitness orientated around the sport. Because a lot of my clients were professional footballers, or professional footballers, professional boxers, professional cricketers. So it was a lot of sports-specific stuff. But at the same time, you know, I was still training to look good. But bodybuilding and training to look good are two completely different aspects. And then I got into the bodybuilding side of it at that stage.
Okay, so you was doing like sports science stuff with like athletes and stuff, was it?
Sports-specific. So when we say sports-specific, so for instance, if you're a boxer, it's no good you being massively muscular. You know, so it's more so, if you're going to pack the muscle on, where are you going to pack the muscle on? Are we going to work fast twitch fibers or slow twitch fibers? Is it going to be beneficial towards for you, for your specific sport? So when I say sport specific stuff, like, for instance, hypothetically talking, we'll do some compound movements, for instance, squats. Squats will incorporate more than one muscle group. It's a compound movement. It releases natural testosterone, which is natural strength, which we're going to need as a boxer. It will make your legs big, because legs is, your basic fundamentals, or the foundation of your body. But then I'd also make them do sprint work, resistant work, for the likes of even just running in a sandpit. So we were making sure what we're doing made sense. So every action would have a purpose in why we're doing it, to make it specific and beneficial for this sport.
Okay, so was that when you graduated uni, is that what you went straight into before the bodybuilding stuff? Or?
Yeah, I went straight into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went straight into it.
Okay, so that was what you was doing full time at that point?
Yeah, I was doing it full time. But remember, like I says, I was still doing side hustles. And when we say side hustles, I was doing, I would go to Wellesbourne Market. This is quite funny, to be fair. So I had a market store, which and I used to sell like kebab meat and chips, and stuff, and that would keep my income going. Because even when I was personal training, etc., it was good, thank God, but it's very hard to get clients. It's not like it's a shop front you've opened and people are going to walk past and come into you. They need to know, they need to see results, etc. And I couldn't just provide results within a week. It takes time to get solid results for someone. It takes up to 8 weeks, 10 weeks. So I had to make sure I was doing stuff, and then I also needed equipment, not gym equipment, because I was renting a gym space, but equipment such as like heart rate monitors, resistant ropes, which obviously the gym never had, like slam balls, which the gym never had, Harpender scales, certain tools which measure your body fat percentage, etc. So they were little investments which I was making from the money I was making from Wellesbourne Market.
So you was doing that kind of sports science stuff with the sports specific stuff with the athletes and stuff, and then why is it that you decided to go more full time into the bodybuilding? Why couldn't you carry on with that?
Simply because I wanted to compete at a high level. I'm a very competitive guy. Everything I do, I like to do it to a high level. It's always got to be something where I need a goal at the end of it. Don't get me wrong, it was brilliant. I'm talking 2016, 2015. I was working with top end athletes, like Issa Suleiman, who's moved to Portugal now. There was Natty Howell, who was a great boxer at the time, who's into boxing management now, who I work very closely with. So hold tight, Natty. Who's just signed some top players. He's actually signed Amari Miller from Birmingham City to Leeds United, and that was a big deal. And then I was working with Sean Davis, who was British champion at the time. There's Frankie Gavin, one of the best boxers to come out of England. And that sports specific stuff was massive. It was wicked, I used to love it. I used to love the whole aspect, like, behind the scenes, working with them. It's just like a coach in itself. But I felt like I wanted to perform at a high level. Don't get me wrong, I played football at a good level as well. But, playing for the university teams, and then playing at semi-professional level, Sporting Causa, even playing for Tamworth. But I always wanted to take it for myself at somewhere where I could, really knuckle down. So I thought, and then at the same time, surroundings, my friends were into bodybuilding competitions, etc. So I thought, I'll give it a go. And then I went into a vigorous diet, everything from what I've learned previously, etc. Tried to put it into practice. And I wasn't successful in the bodybuilding industry for the first 2 years. But I persisted, but the first 2 years weren't successful for me at all. I was doing... So in bodybuilding, there's categories. So there's bodybuilding, there's muscle model, there's classical bodybuilding, there's men's physique. There's four different, completely different physiques. So bodybuilding is really big. Classical bodybuilding is what I've done over the last 3 years, and I've been very successful, thank God. Then muscle model, slightly smaller than that. And then there's the men's physique, which is more like a beach body. And I initially was going for the men's physique. But I was always not right for the category. Remember, bodybuilding in itself, it's a very subjective. So when I say subjective, it's what they see on the day and what they want to see. So in yourself, you can say you're absolutely perfect. 4 people can say you look better than that person. There could be an arena of 200 people and they say you actually look better than that person. But what the judges are looking for is not what you are. So it was hard to take. But I still persisted. and then I decided to change my category, and I went into classical bodybuilding.
Yeah, persistence is key, to be honest. So like, would you say you always had that kind of determination and persistence in you? Because obviously bodybuilding and just even going to a gym in general, it's like requires a lot of dedication, and the diet as well, especially, and a lot of people can relate to that. So
oh yeah, 1,000,000%. Persistence and consistency. It's a fine ingredient to make anyone successful.
yeah,
Remember, like I says, Rome wasn't built in a day, and so it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of setbacks, a lot of nutbacks, etc. But my mentality has always been like 100%, 100%. And then there's a famous saying, hard work beats talent, but when talent works hard, it's game over. Yeah. So I always thought I'm talented, so I'm just going to work hard, and then it's game over. And then thank God it was game over. Yeah.
So obviously this podcast is a lot of entrepreneurial stuff as well. So in terms of that, a lot of the stuff that goes into bodybuilding or into, taking care of your diet and stuff like that, it can be applied into any like form of like,
it's any form of business, any form of life, to be fair. You can't just do something once or twice and expect it to work. Yeah. It's got to be done in, day out, day after day, morning, afternoon, sleeping time, waking up, repeat until it clicks, and it's going to click, And even with the side of like, the business side of it, the bodybuilding side of it was very important for me to do, for my business to do well. Because, you've got to be a walking CV. You're a walking billboard, you're an advertisement. So I've got to make sure I look a certain way in order for people to take me seriously. We live in a society where you shouldn't judge by one's appearance, but that's the society we live in. Yeah. There's a famous saying, again, I'll tell you another one. This is one that I've actually made up. And it goes by, don't judge a book by its cover. However, if the book don't look good, you're never going to pick it off the shelf to read it. You know what I mean?
Gets your mind going, that one.
So make sure your cover's always good. But then if your cover's good, make sure the content inside the book's also good. Do you know what I mean? So I always say, take care of what I'm looking to do. You know what I mean? People wouldn't be able to take me seriously if I didn't look good. And then furthermore, I couldn't give the winner's mentality to people if I hadn't won.
Yeah.
I couldn't be able to tell certain clients who are, boxing at national levels or, for British titles, Commonwealth titles, European titles, to dig deep and keep going, etc. if I hadn't done it myself. Same with certain clients. I couldn't say to them, you've got to eat this food day in, day out in order to reach your results if I hadn't done it. And then the beautiful journey about it is, clients have seen me do that. I've got clients who've been with me for over 10, 11 years, and they've seen me. They've seen me diet down. They've seen me go through them little struggles, because bodybuilding is not easy. It's a very, very difficult sport. Very difficult sport. So anyone who does bodybuild, you know what I mean? I'll give them a salute, because it's a very, very, very difficult sport. Very difficult, very lonely, because it's shown on the day. You can't cheat. You know what I mean? With boxing, hypothetically talking, you could skip a run and then you could probably still knock the person out. You know what I mean? Because you could just be fit enough, or you could come out at night and have a biscuit. But with bodybuilding, if you haven't done your 45 minutes cardio, you're not going to be as shredded as you're supposed to be. If you have that little biscuit, you are still going to be holding that bit of fat which you need to be getting rid of. So there's no cheating with it. There's no cheating with it. So it's all your hard work shows.
100% I agree. So like that's like, for example, if I was going to gym and stuff, and if I went to PE, I would go for a PT that looked good, because that shows obviously you can do as much of the theory as possible if you not practically do it.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You've got to practice what you preach.
Yeah.
You've got to practice what you preach. But then at the same time, like I says, I feel like what we're living in now, the world we're living in now is like, everything's so accessible to us in terms of we've got so much exposure to so much stuff, and we're not in touch with reality.
Yeah.
So you could be seeing a picture of, if you go down your Instagram feed or TikTok feed, and you're going to see people who are absolutely shredded to the nine. You know what I mean? But 90% of people are not shredded to the nine. You know what I mean? For instance, even myself, you know what I mean? You're going to only see pictures of me on social media where I'm stage ready and absolutely ripped. But I can't live like that throughout your whole life. So there's got to be a fine balance where you've got a healthy life as well as, a date. You've got a healthy mindset, because your mindset's not in the right place when you're bodybuilding. You know what I mean? You're low on food. All you're thinking about is yourself. It's a selfish sport. So you've got a fine line where your relationship's all right, and then at the same time, you're healthy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes unnoticed
Mm-hmm.
on social media. And obviously, like as we were discussing earlier, you mentioned, you know, there might be people out there on the social media that they have like good content, but they're not actually really that good at what they do, and people get fooled by that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That comes down to that same thing. You know, I'm going to come out with sayings, but you know, like social media is a platform for people, hypothetically talking, white belts are looking like Bruce Lee's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, don't let that one go over your head. Social media is a platform where people have got white belts, but they're looking like the Bruce Lee. So why I say that is because, like I says, with social media, you know, it's absolutely amazing. I'm not knocking social media. Social media in itself has helped me massively to be where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, it's out there now, and it's given a platform to individuals, and saying me not being negative, etc. But it's given a platform to individuals who possibly don't deserve that platform. You know, they don't have the accolades. There's certain coaches out there. There's certain business people out there who have, even boxers. You know, let's look at sports people, hypothetically talking. You know, Jake Paul. Okay, Jake Paul's done absolutely amazing with the boxing.
Yeah.
Hats off, salutes. You know what I mean? There's people on his show like Dejai and other social media influencers who are not great boxers.
Yeah.
But there's kids out there who've been boxing from the age of 7 all the way up to the age of 17, 18, who work day in, day out, go through the struggles, go through the runs and everything. And they're never ever going to make that money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So like I says, these people are getting that. Do they deserve that? I don't know, only God knows. But the fact of the matter is, it's quite unfair to people who have put all that work in and they can't get it because they're not doing certain things on social media.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, 100%. Yeah, but in terms of, I guess, those kind of people, like the YouTubers that are into the boxing, they've obviously made their name in the YouTube. So in their own essence, they have worked
in YouTube. This is an interesting topic, but what have you done on YouTube? You know, there's some people that have done some great stuff on YouTube, like Chunks, Young Philly, Harry Pinero. They've got good content. But then there's certain individuals who are out there dancing in city centre. You know, or playing a prank on someone. You know, is that skill? I don't know. If I'm wrong, I wish someone to say it in the comments below. But what is the skill aspect in that? Mm-hmm. Why does that person who does such a thing, like for instance, you know, you go on TikTok now and you go on the TikTok feeds, etc., and there's just people speaking vulgar, no morals, no dignity, absolute rascal behaviour, and yet they've become a public figure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yet there's people out there who are trying to live with dignity, with, you know, good etiquette, mannerism, etc., trying to put good content out, good information out there to be helpful to people, and they will just go unnoticed. So hopefully in the long run it will be a lot better for him, which I believe. But I just find it hard to see certain individuals struggle when I believe they shouldn't.
Yeah, I understand your point completely, because, you know, but it's what the average consumer, they like, you know, they might like pranks and stuff. Like I don't really care about that, you know what I mean? So, but some people, that's just what they consume. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I believe if you are, you know, say like you want to put something out there, this is what you believe in, and you consistently put that out, eventually you will get where you need to be.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You know what I mean? Like I says, if you're continuously doing your graft and continuously just working on your graft, it's good you said that, to be fair, you know, just making sure your grass is greener, grass, watering your grass rather than looking at your neighbours. And hopefully, like I says, it will click, and when it does click, it's game over. Yeah,
because that could bring you down. Like you could think about, you know, you could think like of yourself, like, oh, I'm working so hard, I'm doing all these things, but I'm not getting the recognition. And another person is doing dances and they're getting recognition.
Yeah,
but if you think about that, then
at the same time, it could be very demotivating for the younger generation.
Yeah.
And this is the message which I like to give to the younger generation. I'm speaking like I'm an uncle now, but the fact of the matter is, the time will come. And, you know, as long as you know your craft and you're putting your craft in, you'll always come on top, because, you know, it will always show in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Obviously, I know that social media, obviously you mentioned, it has helped you a lot. And I do see a lot of your content.
Oh, yeah. Social media has been, it's been a massive tool. And I'd like to think like I've used it to the best of my capabilities. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I've used it in a way to be positive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's easy to be recognised on social media by being a clown or by putting something controversial up there. Do you know what I mean? Very, very easy. I can say some controversial remarks on there and this podcast will absolutely pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, if we're speaking sense and stuff, it's not what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
You know, because this is life. You know what I mean? But social media for me has been brilliant. You know, even from the whole side of it, the marketing side of it, getting clients in, setting up new businesses, etc. It's all been thankfully to social media. So yeah, I can't be sat here and say I'm against social media, because social media is a big part of life now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. So like, did you get onto social media straight away? Like, where you had
I got into social media quite early, to be fair. Okay. And even with that side of it, you know, it was, I was doing my clients. One of my clients was a photographer through my modeling days. And I says, you know, I'll train you. I ain't gonna be able to pay for your, I won't be able to pay for the photographs or for the content, but I'll train you, and in exchange for you get me some good quality content.
Okay.
And then I got some good quality content that way. So what's that called? Bartering. Yeah. So yeah, I was bartering. So that's how I, you know, utilize my social media and try to get as much good content out as possible. And then I started the YouTube, and same, you know. But then luckily, fortunate enough, I had some big companies, you know, who came in, or some big production teams who wanted to do some certain documentaries with myself, and that was also beneficial. And then that helped me on the social media side of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I see with a lot of your content, that's obviously why I've got you on this podcast, because I liked what I saw. Mm-hmm. And you post a lot of things that will help a lot of people. It's not, you know, the everyday stuff that you see here and there, but it's actually quite helpful stuff. Like you post like, you know, tip of the day, or like saying of the day, something like that, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So you post quite a lot of those, and they can help. Like even if so many people scroll past it, as long as one person's affected by it.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You know, even if you have like an impact on one person, just hypothetically talking, I get 6,000 views on my story daily. So out of them 6,000 people, even if one person has been affected, it's a job well done.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So like I says, use social media as a positive, as a positive tool. You know, like social media is like life, innit? So in life, like I says, you're gonna stay away from bad energy.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna give bad energy out. So with social media, I've used the same philosophy. You know, don't give out bad energy, and don't follow bad energy. So if there's anything toxic, bad, it's out, unfollow, or mute, because I don't want to offend them. But if it's positive, so just put positive content out there, and only get inspired by other people's positive posts.
Yep. So is that part of the reason why you are like you did that, you know, the sports specific stuff with the athletes and stuff, or even as a PT, you work with clients and stuff, seeing them reach their goals, is it give you a satisfaction or?
The satisfaction you get from changing a client's life is unbelievable. You know, I can say, you know, money don't buy happiness, and I can say that hand on heart, money don't buy happiness, because the happiness you get from seeing someone else happy because of something you've done for them is unbelievable. I've had clients out there, you know, who wanted to get married, or, you know, what's the terminology? What do you call it? What's the terminology when you come out of a relationship? Rebound. You know, they've come off a rebound, and, you know, their head's a bit all over the place, but then training's helped them in that aspect. And there's been clients out there who, you know, who was so overweight, couldn't play with their children, and then you get the messages that, oh my God, you know, I've just done my first run with my child, or, you know, I can't believe it, like I've lost so much weight and my cholesterol levels, the doctors are saying it's unbelievable. These sort of things. And then these clients not only become clients, they become friends, and from friends they become family. You know, I've had clients who have been clients, and I've from being clients, I've gone to their wedding, from their wedding I've gone to their kid's birthday party. You know, and it's quite mad. It's quite mad.
Creates that like ripple effect.
Well. Ripple effect, and it's the best feeling ever. It's the best feeling ever. Like I says, the messages you get, the messages I get of clients on a weekly basis is what keeps me going. You know what I mean? And it's truly satisfactory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just what it's about. Just making sure, you know, you're giving that happiness, and helping others is what's really important at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's a philosophy in life which I always say, in it, you know what I mean? Like, always show love, manners, respect, and, you know, helping someone is, as cheesy as it sounds, is the best feeling you're ever gonna get. Yeah,
it's interesting though. I'm a bit on the fence about money buying happiness, buying you happiness, because if you do want to help people, a lot of things do require money if you want to help people. So,
1,000,000%. I'm not saying do anything for free.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? For instance, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, you know, like to open up a gym, it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I don't train clients for free, but the money aspect's one side of it. It's not like it's going to get me happy. You know, I've got plenty of clients who give me a lot of money. They all give me the same amount of money, and alhamdulillah, you know what I mean? It's a substantial, it's a good amount. But then at the same time, putting the money in my pocket and then seeing them change is two different happinesses.
yeah,
You know, so when I see them change, it's a lot more better. A lot of my clients who will watch this will be able to relate. They'll tell you I take my job very personal. Yeah. The days they haven't lost weight, I'm very, oh God, I could just easily say it's fine. I've been paid anyway. You know what I mean? But the days they lose weight, I'm like, yo, it's made my day.
It's like more, obviously everyone tries to do it like tailored it personally, but at the same time it affects you, like, you know.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. My clients have a impact on me also, that their mood or their results has an impact on myself as well.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, as you mentioned, you are opening a gym and stuff, so I wanted to delve into that a little bit. When you were doing the bodybuilding, you said around 2016, 2017, so after you was in the competition and stuff, what made you think like, okay, I want to open a gym now, like the business side of it?
Sam, I've always been a driven and ambitious young man, I'd like to think. So I've always wanted, you know, a gym, etc. So what I initially started off was from my PT money and from the money I was making at Wellsbourne Market, I saved up, etc. And I opened up a personal training studio. Personal training studio was just private, in-house, one-to-one based, and it was used for a lot of my high-end clients. But then at the same time, I was working with Asiana magazine, which is UK's largest magazine, and I was the health and fitness guru, so I used to write an article for them in every magazine, etc. And then what got in from there was the brides and the grooms. So I started to train the brides and the grooms who were looking to be brides and grooms, getting them ready for their weddings. So that was a market which I hit, which was around 2016, 2017. Alhamdulillah, it went really well. And then saved up money, etc. and opened up a gym, which I thought, you know, I could expand again. I was ambitious again. I thought, you know, from a studio, let's open a big gym. And then we opened up a bigger gym.
So when did you open the gym, and how's it been going for you since you know opened them?
Opened up a gym in 2017. We opened the first one up. Yeah. Which was in Digbeth, but we moved it over to Smethwick due to the congestion charges, etc. And then early 2018, we opened one up in Sutton Coldfield. Okay. They all go by the name of Aesthetic, so it's Aesthetic Underground and Aesthetic Health and Fitness Club. With any business, you know, you have your ups and your downs, but this is like an advice to anyone that's doing business. Don't just think you're going to go into business and you're going to become an entrepreneur and a millionaire overnight. Yeah. You're going to have your down days, you're going to have your struggles. I've had them, I have them now, but it's normal with business. You have your ups and you have your downs. Don't think that it's just going to be money coming in. You know, with any business that you do, you're going to be exposed to a lot of money, but then at the same time, a lot of money goes out. So your money management's got to be on point, and it's got to be on, you know, you've got to know exactly what you're doing. And I feel like a lot of people that are getting into businesses now, like hypothetically talking, like I said, I was speaking to my little one on the way home, and he was like, yeah, but you make this much money from the gym. And I'm like, yeah, but this much rent, this much business rates, this much electric, this much wages, you know, so there's a lot of money that's going out, you know what I mean? So don't think what's coming in, think about everything that's going out. So yeah, we have your ups and your downs. COVID didn't help, but I feel like now everything's just starting to steady up again. Yeah, in terms of
I think if a lot of businesses, if they got through COVID, you know, you can basically get through a lot of anything.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%.
It was a tough time, that was.
Yeah. And I feel like it's going to be harder. You know, with the surges in prices and everything, and now it's going to be a lot more difficult. But if you've got through COVID, you've done extremely well. Massively well. Yeah.
So what is an entrepreneur to you? You know, we discussed this earlier, but I want to know your definition. What
is an entrepreneur? I've always been confused with what an entrepreneur is. Yeah. So what's your definition of an entrepreneur? I would like to know your...
My definition of entrepreneur is someone who creates new ideas or is very innovative, you know, just doesn't follow the one path that society has set, or whatever. They're different. They think outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
That for me is an entrepreneur. No matter what it is you do, whatever business you have, can be anything. You know, doesn't even have to be a business.
It doesn't have to be a business.
It doesn't have to be a business.
Okay.
As long as you have creative ideas and you're doing something different, you know, that gets you get thinking, gets people going, gets people thinking. You know, that's what I personally think. What about yourself?
Wicked. To be fair, I've never really quite knew what entrepreneur was, but I see entrepreneur literally everywhere. But I think 8 out of 10 profiles on social media is entrepreneur now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't know what an entrepreneur is. I was always confused about what an entrepreneur is. So here I am on Vision Nation saying I don't know what an entrepreneur is. But for me, entrepreneur is, I don't know, someone that, I couldn't tell you what an entrepreneur is. I couldn't tell you, but I like your definition of an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Can we Google what the definition of entrepreneur is?
Let's Google it right now.
I was very confused because I was looking at entrepreneurs and I was just saying, well, you're an entrepreneur.
A person who sets up a business or businesses taking on financial risks in the hope of profit.
Okay, so we've just established an entrepreneur is someone who sets up a business.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, wicked. So same, like I says, it's, and I'm glad we've just, well, like I says, established that. So an entrepreneur is someone who sets up a business and has the ambition to obviously make the business run, etc. But at the same time, it's very normal not to be an entrepreneur. I feel like society now has made everyone want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's perfectly normal not to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like the pressures that we're getting with everything which is exposed to us or shown to us, it's making everyone wanting to be an entrepreneur. Set up a business, I'm the gaffer, I'm the boss, I want to do it. Remember, it's not made for every single individual. It's a very hard graft.
Yeah.
Very, very hard graft. But yeah, anyone that sets up a business, so yeah, I'm technically an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I mean, if everyone becomes an entrepreneur, then who's going to do the work?
Who's going to do the work?
Yeah.
And like I said, it's perfectly normal. I'll tell you a funny one. I had a client, majority of my clients are entrepreneurs, but I had a client and he called me and he says, I work at McDonald's. This is actually a true story and it's only happened a couple of weeks ago. I work at McDonald's and I was like, wow, like, not wow in terms of it works for McDonald's. It's perfectly normal to work at McDonald's, but it was a very long time ago since somebody spoke to me and they've told me that they work for McDonald's or they work for or such a job. And I was so out of touch with reality that I thought, this is life, man. It's normal. This is what people do.
Yeah, people, if they don't have the desire to become entrepreneurs, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But one of my previous guests actually mentioned his thing was that even if you're not an entrepreneur, but everyone should try to have their own business or try something different. What's your take on that? I want to have like a different perspective. What do you think?
I've got friends from all walks of life, and what I've realised is the ones who don't have businesses are absolutely happy.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who have businesses are full of stress. So like I said, it could be whatever business in itself it is, but 1,000,000% should always try to lock into your potential and see what you want to do.
Yeah.
But that don't necessarily mean money wise. You don't have to be money orientated.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1,000,000% try to lock into to find out exactly what you want to do and what your superpower is.
Yeah.
We're all born with a purpose. We're all born with something in it. You know what I mean? It comes down to the saying, if you was to make a fish climb a tree, it'd always fail.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But once it finds the water, throws the water,
exactly.
It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? So try to find the water to swim.
Yeah. People just gotta, I think I tend to agree, you should at least try because, a lot of people, the reason I think a lot of people do try to become entrepreneurs is because they are unhappy doing a 9-to-5 job, for example. You can be happy, and a lot of people are happy, but some people, they will be unhappy, but they won't think what to do. They won't actually do anything, but they will stay unhappy, and then it's just a cycle, and then regret.
But what would make them unhappy? I know people that are doing 9-to-5s and are absolutely loving life.
Yeah.
So it comes down to, why do you want to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Why should everyone try to be an entrepreneur?
Why do you believe personally, myself, if I was working in a job, I've worked in jobs before, and if it's something that you don't look forward to, then I think, why are you doing it?
Mm-hmm.
You could be comfortable, obviously, you have to make ends meet, and especially in this climate now, inflation, everything's prices are going up, and it makes sense to be in a stable job. That's why people go for them, you know. But I think, you know, if you are unhappy, you need to. I think you should find other ways of trying to, you know, do something that you are happy to do. Like obviously, you know, you do bodybuilding, you do PT stuff. For you, that doesn't seem like work, does it? Doesn't seem like, you know,
it's still work. It's still work, but then at the same time, like I says, does happiness have to evolve just around work? Can't it be other stuff? Can't you get contentment from other stuff?
Yeah.
Other stuff, I don't know. Can't you, I don't know, play football in the weekend? Can't that make you happy? Can't doing charity work make you happy? Can't following your religion a bit more make you happy? So does it always have to be money orientated to make you happy, to get you happiness?
No, it doesn't have to be, but you know, some people, they might be working long hours to do it as well, and they might not have that much time to do other things.
On average, people work 9 to 5, don't they? Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. It's very important to, like I says, be content. That's the most important thing. As long as you're content, you have completed life. You watch In-Betweeners, Jay.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
Completed it.
Completed it, mate.
Completed it, mate. As long as you're content, it's perfectly fine. Whether you are looking to open a business, whether you're working in McDonald's, whether you're a bus driver, whether you're a window cleaner, whether you own a gym, etc. If you're content, you have completed life.
Yeah, 100%. So, did you say that you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
Well, I suppose I am now. I suppose I am because I own multiple businesses. So yes, we have established today on Vision Nation that I am an entrepreneur.
Okay, interesting.
But you know, with myself, I just love doing stuff. I've got so much to give. And there's lots of people out there. I just love to give, or I can never stay still. You know, I always want to do something. So now the gym's complete, everything's running smooth. We've opened a food business. The food business, Aesthetic Nutrition, alhamdulillah, is running very, very successful. So we do tailor-made meals for people of same, all walks of life, for office workers, just to make sure they've got a healthy meal rather than eating a sandwich from Greg's. Or people who are, you know, prime example, Moeen Ali's just won the World Cup, wants to be optimal level with food, so you've got macro counted, you've got them. Or if you're a boxer, boxing at a good level and you want to make weight, etc., I could do that for you. If your client wants to lose weight, I can make the food for you to make you lose weight. If you're a client that wants to put weight on, I could do the macros to make you put the weight on. So it's something which I've obviously tailor-made from the business side of it, when I thought, there's a market there and I'll get into that. So that's my entrepreneur skills.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I personally, for those watching, I can vouch for it. You know, I've had the aesthetic nutrition last year, and it was really nice, man. I liked it compared to
thumbs up, Aesthetic Nutrition. The link will be below. Delivered nationwide.
Yeah. So when was it then that you started? I think it was last year, right? Sometime last year.
So what happened with Aesthetic Nutrition was we was in lockdown, and like I've just previously mentioned, I've got bees in my pants. I can never stay still. So we're in lockdown and I've got nothing to do. Gyms are closed. I can't go to the gym. So rather than putting the money under my mattress, it's not under my mattress, it's the saying, or the floorboards. I thought, you know what, let's put some money out, invest into do a kitchen. Fortunate enough, I've got a very good network in the food industry. Hold tight the boys from Farmhouse, Pepe's, Mushtaq's, clients, friends, family. I've had little chat with them, what can I do, how can I do it, etc. They've helped me from the equipment to the kitchen, to the chefs. We started how can I say, trialing in lockdown, and then by the end of lockdown I thought, yeah man, we're good to go. And then I opened up Aesthetic Nutrition in lockdown.
Okay, how's that business going for you? I mean, like, from looking from the outside, you know, it can be quite, obviously all businesses are quite risky, but it can be like, what if you know, do you make like a certain amount of food beforehand, or is it like you order on order basis?
When you're doing food at a mass production, it is very difficult to, how can I say, get it done right. So, but fortunately enough, like I says, I weighed the pros and the cons up. I own 2 gyms, so I'm gonna have 300-400 members coming in each gym. Even if 10% of them get them, that's 40 meals, 80 meals out of the 2 gyms. I've got 50-60 clients. Out of the 50-60 clients, even if 10% get them, that's 5-6 there. word of mouth. I've got other PTs in the gym who will have clients.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you gauge it from there. And then obviously the chefs will know, etc., in terms of how to do the food and where the food's going to go. So like I says, I've done a lot of work in this on lockdown in terms of just making sure everything's measured right. Same, you know, if you was to give me an axe to chop down a tree, I've got 5 hours, I'm doing 4 hours sharpening that axe before I'm coming down to chop that tree.
Yeah.
So my preparation was on key. So we made out, like, you know, these are the meals we're getting. So hence, like I says, orders go in on a Friday they go in, we get all the grocery, all the rest of the ingredients, etc. On a Saturday. It'll be a fresh cook on the Sunday and delivered to you on a Sunday, fresh for Monday. And the ones that I go out of town nationwide, we cook them on a Monday, and then they get sent out on a Monday for delivery. So yeah, we measure them up by the orders that come in, so it never goes to waste.
And it's twice a week as well, so it's
twice a week. Okay, so once Monday, once Wednesday. No, once Sunday, once Wednesday. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Like, you know, you leverage your current existing businesses in order to support it, because if that wasn't there, it would be a little bit more difficult. Of course, by the grace of God, you could probably do it anyway. But, you know, it's good to have established businesses, and also, like you mentioned before, we mentioned before, like social media and stuff like that. You know, there's a lot of marketing involved.
It all coincides in it, so it's called like an umbrella. Do you know? The top of the umbrella will be the gym or the fitness side of it. So from the fitness side of it is, you know, I'm a PT, I'm a coach, I'm a bodybuilder. I'm known to have good photos online with my top off. So, but then if you look into it, you know, like, I mean, there's the education side of it, which backs it up, etc. So what's going to work? Obviously, PTing's going to work. Gym membership's going to work. What else do people in the gym need? Food. So they're going to need food. What else do they need? Supplements. We also provide supplements.
Okay.
Clothing. Coming soon.
Interesting. Clothing coming soon as well. So, yeah, that's a lot of that stuff. You know, there's the gym and the diet part of it and the supplements. You know, it's very important in keeping yourself healthy, of course. And, you know, the viewers that are watching, you know, most of them are probably aspiring entrepreneurs, or even if they're not, you know, it's good to have that in place. So how beneficial is that in, you know, having the optimum, you know, performance levels, basically? That's something that's quite interesting to me.
For a normal person, day to day, or
for a normal person, and also like entrepreneurs and people that want to go to the next level in their business.
You know, like in terms of your health and to reach your optimal levels in a day-to-day life with the current society we live in, where it's a rat race, 100 miles per hour, it is a must. Do you know? You know, we talk about mental health and everything, and the gym in that plays a massive role. Let's not just talk about the gym, you know. It's you could get, same with hypothetically talking with the gym, etc. Get your training done, etc. We need to recover. How we're going to recover? We're going to make sure we get a good source of protein in. It's going to be hard to eat, you know, 3-4 baby chickens in a day. So what we're going to do, we're going to compensate that for a protein shake. Supplement side of it, you've got to make sure your immune system is strong on a day-to-day basis with current weather change, COVID, etc. Vitamin C, they need to be at a good level. You know, you have a mad week, you know, whether you're working 9 to 5 or, you know, you're doing late nights like yourself with your entrepreneur skills, etc. Keep energy levels high, get a good dosage of vitamin B12 in you. You know what I mean? You want a good night's sleep. What we're going to do, get some good zinc magnesium in here so you're refreshed, ready for the next day to attack it. So these supplementation even play a massive role, whether that's on a day-to-day life going to the gym, day-to-day life going to the gym and working, or whether you're doing everything at an elite level.
Yeah, because it's, as you mentioned, you know, mentally, even physically, and then obviously spiritually as well. So, you know, we mentioned sleep. Like, I've seen quite a few things about like getting sleep, how much it affects your day-to-day. Like, for example, if you're an entrepreneur and you're not sleeping much, or even if you're just working and you're not, you know, not getting, I don't know how much the optimum is, you know, I'm not, how much is it, like 7-8 hours?
7 to 8 hours. Yeah. And like I says, there's enough tools out there to measure it. Look, I'm wearing a ring today. It's called the Oura Ring. Okay. This measures my sleep on a day-to-day basis. It tells me whether I've had deep sleep, REM sleep, light sleep, what time I woke up to have a toilet, if I've looked at my phone, etc. It measures literally everything in. And then I coincide with this, correlate it with my training the following day. So for instance, if I feel like I've not hit the numbers which I previously hit, why is it? Probably because I've never had enough sleep. You know, it could all play a role. Measurements are a very important tool in life. You know, how you're going to measure your progression. whether that's, you know, the money coming in, or whether that's your performance in the gym, or whether that's, you know, making X amount of sales if you're a salesperson.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot to it. But yeah, sleep plays a big role. And like I says, if you're not getting the sleep which you're supposed to be getting, are you going to be able to tick over the way you want to be ticking in your life as an entrepreneur? Because, you know, as an entrepreneur, you're making big decisions on a day-to-day basis. And you're not only in charge of yourself, you're in charge of members of staff.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
not only members of staff, other people, your customers. So you've got to make sure, you know, you're switched on. So sleep's a big factor.
Yeah. So you yourself get like 7-8 hours of sleep roughly?
7 to 8 hours minimum.
What do you do? Obviously, there's probably times that you don't get that, and then
I'll have a nap during the day.
Okay, you'll have a nap during the day. Okay.
I'm very greedy for my sleep. I put my sleep first. So sometimes, like I said, boxing's took over my life now. So the little man boxes, and then obviously I'm getting into the boxing promotion side of it as a professional boxing promoter. So, you know, traveling up around the country, watching people box, or I'm also, you know, part of a very successful boxing club known as Pound for Pound Boxing. So, you know, watching their kids going back and forth up around the country, it takes a lot out of you. Sometimes I have to bail out and not travel somewhere because I'm not going to get my sleep. Sorry, boys, I've admitted it here. So yeah, I always try to put my sleep first.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you know, because a lot of people might neglect, you know, just the general health, their own health, just because they're, you know, running their business or, you know, going after the money and stuff. Because I'm you know, guilty of it myself. You know, in the last like 3-4 months, I've barely went to the gym, like barely. And obviously, for me myself, I'm only able to eat like well if I'm going to the gym, and, you know, might be an excuse or whatever it is, but you know, that's just how I feel.
It's important to have a structure. It's very important to have a structure, to have a routine, and the most important thing is having a routine. So hypothetically talking, today's Sunday. So Sunday, I'll have an early night. Monday's a busy week. Monday's the first day of the week, and so you want to conquer Monday. Yeah. So Monday, wake up early, absolutely smash it from morning till night. Yeah. I've got enough in me on a Monday to go do the same on a Tuesday. Comes to Wednesday's midweek. I could half take my foot off the gas. So on a Wednesday, I'll have a lie-in. I won't really wake up at, like I says, 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. I'd wake up at 8:30. And then Thursday, I'd hit the week hard again. And then Friday's the day which I just dedicate towards my spiritual side, and then the boxing. Okay. So what is it that you do in your spiritual side that you mentioned, like on Friday? Spiritual side of it, in terms of, it's quite personal, but like I says, on a Friday, it's Jummah, so it's a special day for ourselves. So I like to get ready for Jummah. Then I go to Sutton Cemetery. I go to the graveyard. I go to visit people who are no longer with us, who I miss a lot. Then I help around at the graveyard if there's any help that's needed. And then in the evening, I go to Sheikh P. Saqib Shami, who's a very well-to-do scholar who helps me in order to feed my soul. You know, we're talking about feeding our body, helps me feed my soul in terms of, you know, this is how you examples of how to live a good life, bringing me closer to my religion and my deen. Okay, you find that, you know, you must find that a lot of benefits from that, you know. Yeah, of course. You know. Once that's in play, your life's easy. And like I said, structure, routine. You know, you pray 5 times a day, so base your day around your 5 times of prayer. It makes it easier. So just hypothetically talking, you wake up, your first prayer, which is Fajr. That's when my day kick starts. 6:15, 6:30. So even if my client's at 6, they know I'm not coming in until I've prayed my prayer. Yeah. My last prayer, which is Isha, now the times have changed, so it's gone to about 6:15, 6:30. So I usually pray that later now though. So as soon as I pray that, bam, it's bedtime for me, lights out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, structure is 100% very important, because, you know, without structure, then your mind's going to be wandering all over the place. Like, for an example, there's a lot of, I've seen this like video, something like the night before, you know, you're thinking about what stuff you've got to do tomorrow, and then you start panicking knowing how much you got to do. But if you've structured it in a way... Yeah, once it's planned, it's done, and it fail to prepare to fail, innit? So as long as you're prepared, it makes life a lot more easier. I'll tell you what helps is, you know, like just a simple thing as a whiteboard in your house, and you've got to do this. That helps in itself massively, because otherwise it's going to go in your head. You're going to know about it. it's going to frazzle it, you're not going to know. But once it's written, you see, yeah, I've got to make sure I do that.
Yeah.
And set days when you need to do it by,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, and then you stick it off, and then you feel like, yeah, I've done
And then
it.
it's done.
Completed all the tasks. So for yourself, what is the importance of being charitable?
Oh, that's a big part of my life, to be fair. You know, when they say, when I've just said earlier, to try find your superpower, etc.
Yeah.
I've always thinking, you know, I've done the bodybuilding side of it. I've been very successful in the business side of it. What can I do in life, etc. And fortunate enough, you know, God's blessed me being able to, you know, raise funds and to help individuals. And it plays a big role. You know, you never get poor by giving. The more you give, the more you will always receive. I've been part of many charities for a long, long time. But as of late, we've set up a foundation called the Ali Tazim Foundation. Ali Tazim is someone who's very special to me. Someone who I worked with from the age of, I think it was 9, 10.
Yeah.
And he passed away earlier this year. Passed away earlier this year in a car accident. And the future was very bright for him. One of the most promising athletes I've ever seen. Very good boxer. Just signed his professional deal with Probellum. It was a massive deal, life-changing deal. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of charity work for him and his loving memory. And like I says, the charity works under his foundation, but every single individual that's helping, donating, you know, doing the collection, the volunteers, etc. You know, surely God's going to be blessing them also.
Yeah, 100%, man, because that's obviously within our deen as well. That's a very important part. And obviously, he's obviously no longer with us, but you're doing this foundation for him, and it's only going to benefit yourself and also him, you know?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And you know, we've raised a substantial amount. I think we've just done a boxing show not long ago, and we raised £33,000, or just under £33,000. And I did put it on my social media, in all fairness, and I was very conscious of putting up what we've raised, and then I was doing screenshots in terms of where the money's going.
Okay.
You know, there's a saying in Islam that, you know, give with your left and your right shouldn't even know. Yeah. And I didn't want to be in a way where, you know, this is where the money's going, but I wanted each and every single individual to know where each one of their pennies going. And Ali's father, T, who's like my older brother, has been absolutely amazing, you know. So every single thing what we're doing, we're getting invoices, we're getting receipts, we're posting them out on my socials, his socials, and everyone's knowing where the money is going. And like I says, we've had some brothers, a very good brother of mine, Butch, who was on deployment in Lebanon, and he was there with his hands giving the money to, or giving, you know, essentials to families out there in refugee camps, getting the little one gifts, etc. So we gave him an amount, and he showed every single person that this is where the money's gone, etc. We've built like a water filtration pump. So water filtration pump is not like a water well. Like a water well is finding somewhere water and you're building up a well. So much love for people that are building them, but for myself, a water well is not somewhere. If me and you was to go somewhere abroad, we wouldn't drink from that water well because it's not clean water. So we're building water filtration pumps, which we drink water from ourselves with good pH level, filtered water, and it's, like I says, giving water to more than 1,800 people daily. And we've shown where they're getting built, how they're getting built, and you know exactly how much each thing's costing. We've built a mosque in loving memory of Ali also, and we've showed exactly how it's built, where it's built, the process of how it's getting built also. And then with some other money, you know, we're doing like refurbishment in terms of certain areas in Pakistan which has gone under floods, etc. And how's it going on, whether that's mosques, schools, houses, etc. So yeah, man, like charity's a big thing, and I'm a firm believer, and I say this to a lot of people, you know, if there's enough money for everyone out there, don't get me wrong, this is why I always say money don't buy you happiness. It gives you more happiness when you see that. And why I say this is because my friend Butch actually showed me some videos of some of the kids, and they're saying thank you, etc. And that thank you and seeing them happy is like, whoa, it's a different feeling. It's a completely different feeling. Yeah,
it's life-changing for them, 100%. You know, that's, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, and I've said this many times before as well on the podcast, like, if you're an entrepreneur or even someone that has, you know, a decent amount of money, or you don't even need to have that much money, obviously, to donate to charity.
Oh, you don't need even a penny
Yeah.
counts. You know what I mean? Like that penny could go, like your penny could go further than another person's £1,000. You know what I mean? It's with your intention.
Yeah.
You know, it could go a lot further. So you know, you can't judge a person in terms of what they've given. You know, it could be anything. Could be literally anything, whatever you give, even for the sake of, you know, you going yourself. And charity could be anything. Charity don't even necessarily mean, you know, giving money.
Yeah.
You know, it could be just helping out, cleaning the streets.
Yeah.
You know, there could be lots that, and you know, but I've just talked about the Ali Tazim Foundation, but there's so much happening in our, you know, in our own neighborhoods, which many of us are unaware of. You know, another story what happened the other day is I was back at the area where I was raised, Borsalif. And I was going past Greg's, and I was so not in touch with reality that I never knew that they do food banks. So I was there sat in the traffic lights, and I realised there's a big queue here of people who I know, people who I would never ever think that would be at a food bank, families who I know. And then it really touched home that bloody hell, like there's a lot of people struggling out there, man. There's a lot of people struggling out there. So whatever you can do, you know, like I says, this winter, whatever you can do, check in on your neighbour, you know, even if it's tea, even if it's a blanket, even if it's some clothes which you don't need. And you might feel like you don't want to give it because you might feel, but you don't know who needs something nowadays, because we live in very, very, very tough times. So yeah, man, just try look out for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. It's about, you know, being the change that you want to see. You know, that's what they say. Like, and as you said, it doesn't have to be money. And what I was saying was, yeah, for like entrepreneurs especially, like for myself, you know, I want to make money, right? You know, who doesn't want to make money? I want to make money, but you know, for me, there's like a reason why I want to do it. Obviously for myself, but I want to benefit a lot of people. Like, you know, there's people in need and stuff like that. It's quite important to me, and in essence, it gives you a purpose, because I don't think chasing the money gives you a purpose. Like,
Yeah,
just chasing the money on itself.
like 1,000,000%. You know, we all need money. Money makes the world go round. Without money, you won't be able to pay your bills. You know, there's kids, there's etc., petrol, etc. I'm not saying don't make money, but don't lose yourself making that money. Don't lose your morals. Don't lose your dignity in order to make that money. Still remember who you are, what you stand for, what your faith is, what your belief is. And with the charity side of it, like I says, charity could be anything. You know, charity could be a simple thing as smiling. Smiling's a charity. Yeah. And when I say smiling, you might think, well, you're smiling. You know, a smile to someone could mean so much. You know, hypothetically talking, you could be at home going through the worst of the worst. You know what I mean? Feeling down. Yeah. And just by a smile, it could change your day. You never know. You know, we live in a society now where everyone's screw-facing everyone, and everyone's like this, you know. Yeah. And it's them energies, but if everyone was smiling at each other, it would be so refreshing, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%
so,
agree.
And it's mad when you just, and these are sayings which are said over 1,400 years ago by our prophet, peace and blessings be on him. You know, smile. It was a sunnah by himself, which was obviously meaning it was practiced by themselves. So if you was just to smile at man, just imagine everyone smiling at everyone. Yeah. Imagine how better the world would be.
It would be. Yeah.
And smiling is a sign of charity, so yeah, always smile. I'm smiling.
I remember that one. Always smile. As you said, you've got multiple businesses at the moment, right? So you mentioned you're going into the boxing promotion side of it. So what are you currently doing?
With the boxing promotion side of it, same we've mentioned earlier about, you know, helping individuals, etc. And alhamdulillah, fortunate enough, I've got a very good network from being in the industry, whether that's, you know, helping people with the social media, putting people in the right direction, helping them with the right coaches, helping people with ticket sales, etc. And nowadays, with the boxing side of it, all that plays a big role. You could be the most talented boxer, but if you haven't got that behind you, you're not going to go very far. Yeah. And a very good brother of mine, Izzy, from GBM Promotions, the first Pakistani professional boxing promoter in the UK. Okay. With Pound for Pound, we have collaborated with him. So I've gotten into the boxing promotion, so I'll be helping out a lot of the up and coming boxers, hopefully reach their potential.
Is it for you that, you know, you want to, if you see the potential in one of the boxers, for example, you know, you feel like you have that sort of, you know, exposure and ability to get them in the place that they want to be to showcase that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. You know, with boxing in itself, it's a very difficult sport. It's a very hard sport. And like I said, fortunate enough, I've got that exposure, or I've got that network which could help. For instance, there's a boxer there now, and he can't sell X amount of tickets, but he's an absolute amazing boxer. No promoter would want him on his show.
Yeah.
So I'd be able to help him sell them tickets. I'll possibly be able to get him a sponsor, which will help him with his boxing training. I'd be able to help him get that content in order to give him that exposure on social media, where he'll be more noticeable to other people. Or, you know, even to the simple thing of getting him an interview with certain YouTube channels who hit good numbers to get him that exposure also. So yeah, man, hold tight Izzy and T and Aki on this one. GBM and pound for pound to the world.
Inshallah, it goes well for you. What other sort of future plans have you got other than that?
Other than the boxing promotion side of it, just charity, you know, to be fair. I really want to get into the charity side of it at a bigger scale. And like I said, to be fair, somewhere down the line, I think I will devote my whole life to charity, to do charity work.
That's, you know.
Whether that's this country or another country, etc. And whatever I can do, you know, even if I could use my skill set or my knowledge somewhere else where it could be beneficial to someone, that is what I want to be doing.
That's what it's about. Like, you know, you've got that platform now with a network, and alhamdulillah, you know, you've got, you know, the following, you've got the, you know, success that's already there.
Yeah,
and now you can actually do the charity, which I mentioned before. Like, you know, you can do a lot of charity, but to make a real impact and big change, you know, you're gonna need that, you know, support behind yourself. You know what I mean?
And the support I've had has been amazing. I've said this before, and I say it again. Like, I get mentioned a lot in the South Asian community, Waheed aesthetic, but there's a lot of people behind me who help me, man, and they don't get the applauds and the credentials which they deserve, you know, all the work that they do behind the scenes, etc. Even with the charity work of it, I've had so many people who have helped me massively with it, and have been so giving that is unbelievable. You know, like, I would just say I'm doing a charity event and people phone me, don't worry, I've donated this fair, I've donated this fair, I've donated this fair. Or for instance, I'm doing a charity event, don't worry, I'm going to pay for the venue. Or I'm doing a charity event, don't worry, I'm going to pay for the food. You know, and I feel like these people have been so amazing, and I'm only so grateful to have these people with me, in order to, and nothing would be possible without them. Nothing would be possible without these people.
100%, like, you know, you build
even to the stage of, you know, when we're doing events, etc. It's not been to the stage where I need to pay for security. I've always had friends that come in to do security. I did, you know, even to do visuals, etc. I didn't have to get certain people to come and do the visuals. I've had my friends who would do it because it's all for charity, etc. And I've been very beneficial for that side of it. Fortunate enough, I've got the network, but I'm even more fortunate that these people will come out and do it for charity and do it without charging. So we could get more money towards the people that need it.
Yeah, I feel like the reason for that is because of, you know, you've stayed true to yourself, and people know what you're about, so they're more likely to, you know, support you in what you're doing and in your charity work, of course.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I'm grateful that people give me that status, or, you know, even, you know, trust me with that. So like I said before, you know, like £33,000 is a substantial amount. So this is why I want to show everyone where that money is going, each down to the penny, so they can continue to support me and they can see the changes that they're making. You know, all these changes which is happening is because of all these people that have, you know, kindly donated or done this, whatever work that needs to be done behind the scenes.
Yeah. So the last thing that I did want to touch on was, you know, you're obviously into sports science, and, you know, you've done a degree and whatnot, and you've had athletes before. But in this day and age, a lot of things are changing. You know, science is changing, sports changing. Like, so how has that been for you, and what kind of?
Never be ignorant to learn. You know, you can learn off every single person. There's a saying, and it goes, no man is your friend, no man is your enemy, but every man is your teacher. So you can learn off every single person. So always be willing to learn. And with science changing on a day-to-day basis, every single day there's something changing. You know, there's stuff out there which is coming out like every day. Like, for instance, you know, there's certain socks which will keep you compressed and make you perform better. Now there's t-shirts which have like a micro massage system to keep your muscles subtle, keep you away from injury. This stuff would be unheard of years ago. You know what I mean? There's certain times you have your food, you know, having certain stuff like Greek yogurt and blueberries before bed release melatonin, give you better sleep. This is science improving every single day. People are doing research, and you know, this is where you've got to make sure you're learning every single time. And it's funny because we mentioned this because, you know, like a big massive interview, which I don't think our interview will do these numbers, but the Ronaldo and Piers Morgan done the interview not long ago, and Ronaldo said the same thing, like he's come back to Manchester United, a team which is at that level, and nothing's changed from when he was there, when he was 21, 22, and now he's 37. Everything's exactly the same. Hence, the club ain't elevating anywhere. Like the kitchen staff still exactly the same. Kitchen staff's brilliant, but they don't know the difference. They don't know the different nutritional values for certain things. Everything's chicken and pasta, chicken and rice. You know, things have changed now. You know, you need to get healthy fats in yourself. You can have foods to reduce inflammation, the likes of pineapple, etc. All these things need to change and need to stay updated in order to reach that optimal level and that elite level. So it's very important to learn every single day, and don't be ignorant to learn. And you can learn off anyone and everyone. So yeah, man. I sound like a geek, but yeah, man, always be looking to learn.
Yeah, I feel like in terms of, you know, what you mentioned, you know, with the stuff stayed the same in the training facility. You know, it stayed the same after all these years, and I feel like that applies to just life in general. Like, for example, you know, even within like football, you know, like the way teams play has changed. You know, in life, like social media's come. Things have changed, but you got to be able to adapt.
Like you've got to be willing to learn.
Yeah,
you've got to be willing to learn. And you know what? This is mad because I feel like my generation now, anything between the age of 27 to 33, 34, at this moment in time, will be able to relate to the younger generation and relate to the older generation, because we was here before the technology side of it, and here for the technology side of it as well. Does it make sense? So we'll understand social media, this is absolute facade, but then as long as you're aware of it, but you can adapt to it, you're all right. Don't get sucked into it. So what's starting to happen now is people are starting to see the whole social media side of it and to try blow on social media. For instance, on TikTok, you'll see people doing silly dances and silly stuff, etc., whatever, but they're losing the fundamentals that we've had. We're getting the full cycle. We're the ones that are going to be at the end. We've seen it all, you know. Yeah. Our generation has the millennium, the bloody, the before the phones, the Nokia phones, for playing football on the street, bloody conkers, flipping Pokemon cards, to now Fortnite, to bloody everything. So we've pretty much seen everything. So I feel like this generation, I feel you're a bit younger, you're going to miss that part. Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like this generation could really get into that, but at the same time, be willing to learn. Don't be ignorant not to learn. You've got to respect the younger generation, and you've got to be willing to understand the values of the older generation as well. Yeah. You know, and I say this, and I've said this before as well, like, you know, like the older generation, no disrespect to them, like my mom's age, my father's age, etc. They're very smart, I'm not saying they're not, but they never had the facilities which we had. They were only taught what they was taught. And what was taught to them was only taught to them which was taught by somebody else. So for instance, they would take everything for gospel. Do you know what it is? But now our generation had enough to, you know, to start researching it ourselves and to find stuff. So for instance, they only had the encyclopedia then. Do you know what the encyclopedia was? So encyclopedia was just a book, and that just literally had everything in there. Yeah, and that's all they knew. But now we've got the World Wide Web. We can go in depth and richly find everything, so we can actually find the purpose behind the action. But then the younger generation won't even know what encyclopedia is. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so you've got to be on that fine line. So why I say that is, like I says, the older generation, like I says, for instance, I'll go back onto the deen, the religion, which means a lot to me. So hypothetically talking, my mum will only know what her mum taught her. What her mum taught her was only taught by what she was taught. Do you know what I mean? And it comes down to cultural barriers. But then we're in a generation now where we could actually go onto the internet and find out, okay, why do we do ablution like this? Why do we pray facing the Qibla? Why do we have certain etiquettes? Why do we have these mannerisms, etc.? But they wouldn't have had the benefits of that then. Yeah. But we're very, very fortunate to have that.
Yeah, it's just about understanding, like, you know, you can if you look for the right stuff, you'll find it.
You find it, yeah.
But, you know, that's the way.
But you've got to make sure, like I said, you are finding the right stuff, which is very, very difficult.
Because now that means it works on the flip side as well. There's the bad stuff is more easy accessible.
It's easy accessible, a lot more easy accessible. But as it says, this generation will know that that's the bad stuff.
Yeah,
it's not good to dance on TikTok.
Yeah,
everyone's going to say I'm anti-TikTok.
Yeah, some of these clips are going to be going on TikTok. But yeah, like, you know, that's the thing as well. Like in the future as well, it's going to keep changing. The older generation.
But I feel like this generation at this moment in time is the most far gone. You know, with how everything is so acceptable. Like for instance, like OnlyFans is acceptable, so it's a normal thing now. Do you know what I mean? 5 out of 10 girls OnlyFans, it's normal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where before you'd say that's prostitution.
Yeah.
Do you know?
100%.
But it's easily just so like, whoa, everything's so acceptable because it's gone so bad. Yeah. But then it will come to a time where we think, whoa, that's wrong now.
Yeah. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen next 10, 15, 20 years. But as long as you stay true to yourself, steadfast as well, you know, on your own path, you know, we know what's right, then you're not going to worry about anything.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
But yeah,
1,000,000%.
I think that covers most of the topics of discussion that we had. I mean, you know, it's been quite interesting talk, a lot of different topics that we discussed, and appreciate you coming on podcast today, taking your time away on a Sunday evening. It's what time now? 9:30? Oh, yeah, it's late Monday morning tomorrow.
But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure.
Got to conquer the day tomorrow.
Yeah, I've got to conquer the day tomorrow. But yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. It's been nice coming on to Vision Nation. For those of you who are following it from my page, always show the love, manners, respect, all of that. Waheed Aesthetic.
No worries, bro. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below on what you thought of the podcast, and also give us a like. And again, I'll catch you in the next episode. Thank you, guys.